What's going on, guys? Ryan with Jedha Patrol back with episode 2 of 6 Scale News. I'm ready to get into this thing. And first off, check this bad boy out. War Machine, Punisher, Beasts, weighs like 4 pounds. Well, maybe not 4, maybe like 3. It's crazy. It's crazy. If you guys didn't check out the video I made on this, I'll put a link up there if you hadn't checked that out. Just before I even get into the book and we get into the news, buy it. Just buy it. It's awesome. It's available right now. When it sells out, you're going to be kicking yourselves that you missed it. And especially after you watch the video I made on it. It's actually pretty epic. So anyways, I just want to just throw that out there. I know I talked about it on the last episode 1 of 6 Scale News, which if you missed that, go back and check out episode 1. It's pretty good. It's still relevant, so go check it out. But this is going to be episode 2, 6 Scale News. We're going to talk about 6 Scale collecting. What's new? Because there's some hot news that just dropped today. Throwing that out there. We're going to talk about that. What's being released? What's been announced? What's been released? Some crazy sale prices out there in the market. And maybe some good deals out there for you if you are new to collecting. So let's get into it. I'm going to break open the book. This is my official 6 Scale News book. If you guys don't know, I picked this up at GameStop for $5. Rogue One. Check that out. Pretty awesome, right? I couldn't pass that up for $5. And it's got some pretty cool artwork inside. So check your GameStops. They might have some of these. It's got Star Wars Rogue One on there. Yeah, it's just got some cool stuff. So let's get into it. All right, so I figured we'll start with, let me get my chair. I'm gonna get comfortable up in this Humpty Dumpty. I figured we'll start with the latest announcement, the drop that happened way early in the morning, at least for us US people. Spider-Man, from the Spider-Man game, the PS4 game, Spider Armor Mark IV. All right, so let's talk about this. Now, I love Spider-Man. I'm a big fan of that one. It dropped today. They announced it today. It went up for pre-order today, which if you would like to pre-order it, there's a link in the description below for Collector Zone. You can use my code PATROL, save 5% off of that purchase price, which honestly, after comparing prices with some other sites, you're going to save some money. So if you want to save money on that figure and pre-order it, pick it up, even after I talk about it. So let's talk about Spider-Man Spider Armor Mark IV. Now, first off, visually beautiful. I got to give it that. Visually, I like a 9 out of 10. Visually gorgeous suit. It's got like I don't know if it's sculpted abs or they're like shaded with paint. I'm not sure how that's going to work out in the actual, when we get it in hand. Muscular, reminds me of the Scarlet Spider in some form or fashion, the advanced suit Spidey for sure. But I do have some questions about this thing. Not only is it beautiful, okay, they've added some features to it. I got a lot of notes here, guys. This might take a minute, so bear with me. Let's talk about the material. So, at first glance, I thought it was the same material that the advanced suit Spidey was made out of, so that pleathery material. However, upon scouring the images, I think it's actually more like the Iron Spider we saw from Infinity War. And I recently sold that figure. It was beautiful, loved it, and there are some issues with that suit, okay? And with really any Spider-Man suit in general, if you talk about it, just looking at all of them. But that particular material reminds me of the Iron Spider suit because of the material, the metallic like glow they've got on this thing, the sheen on the actual armor, if you will, of the suit. So it reminds me of that. So that being said, since I have owned the Iron Spider suit, I'm going to kind of relay it off of that one. That suit will heal itself over time with posing. It will do it, no questions asked, it will. You can pose it in dynamic poses. As long as you make sure the suit doesn't get pinched in the joints, you're going to be fine. However, it will damage the suit if you leave it there for an extended amount of time. And by damage, I don't mean it's ruined. I don't think you're going to tear it. You're not going to rip it. It's not so thin that you're actually going to worry about ripping the suit by posing. I don't think that's the case. I think just seeing, you can tell it was posed. Let me put it that way. You can tell it was posed. And if you are those collectors, and I would say one of those, but there's a lot of these collectors out there, and who put them in museum poses because they don't want to damage the suit at all. They don't want to have an issue at all. They want to have it pristine. Then more power to you. This is the suit for you because you can do that. If you want to pose it, I think you're not going to have any issues with posing it. I really don't. I think you can bend it. I think you can pose it as long as you do it wisely. I think you're going to be okay. The material will self-heal to an extent, but I think you're definitely going to know you posed it. I'll put it that way, okay? So there's that. I don't know if that's a pro or a con. Depends on what side of the fence you're on with that. So I think it's more like the Iron Spider suit than it is the advanced suit, the advanced Spider suit from the game. So I looked at the other things they're doing this. So they did this like luminescent effect that we saw with Black Panther, right? And at least the Black Panther from the movie. This luminescent effect where they put on essentially you need a UV light to actually view this effect, okay? So at that point, it's a cool, neat little gimmick. I'm gonna call it gimmick because that's what it is. It's neat that they did it, but it's completely, unless you build an enclosed UV display, you're not ever gonna see it. Not gonna see it. Now they did include the cardboard, and I do say cardboard, like Hot Toys, step it up and give us like plastic or something, give us something. But they give us cardboard UV lights to put on it just like they did with the Black Panther. And thankfully they look like they're removable, so they're not actually part of the base. You can actually display it without these giant columns going on. It's cheap. I'm gonna just throw it out there. It's ineffective in lighting. So if you've got lighting like this, then clearly you're not even gonna be able to see it because that lighting that they include is not bright enough to combat this kind of lighting. So you actually need a dark enclosure. So if you're gonna get that figure, and this goes along with kind of like the Neon Tech Iron Man suits as well, which are very cool, but unless you've actually got the UV light going on there at somewhat of a strength, you're not gonna notice it. Okay, so you got to build your own enclosure for that, which if you want to do that, by all means do it. I want to see photos of it. I'm sure it will be amazing. If you're not, then that is a gimmick and it's pretty much useless, and I don't even care. So there's that. Price point. Now this is interesting. So I wanted to look at the price point of this Spider-Man Mark IV and compare it to two other Spider Peoples. I've got the Scarlet Spider, which I think is by far the best Spider-Man figure they've released to date. And then the Iron Spider, because it's the same material and I just thought it made sense. Okay, it's newly released. Okay, so let's take a look at this. So price point, the new one, $255 retail in the US, is for the brand new one they announced today. If we look at the Scarlet Spider, totally different material, 3D, I guess it's pretty much screen printed material on there, way more posable. Like that's the most posable Spider-Man figure out there without hurting the suit, damaging it, doing anything. That thing is freaking gorgeous. But totally new design, totally new head sculpt, hood, so many accessories, got the donut, got the pizza box, got all kinds of webs, all that kind of stuff. $251. So that Scarlet Spider, and he's SDCC exclusive as well. On Toy Fair, or Sideshow exclusive, one of the two. But $251. So it's actually $4 cheaper for a figure with more accessories that is better posable. Okay, that's crazy. And so we got $255 on the new one, $251 on Scarlet Spider. Then I said, well, let's go back, let's look at the Iron Spider suit. Let's take a look at that and look at price point on that, because I think value matters. You're always trying to get the best value, best bang for your buck, and I think this is interesting topic. But the Iron Spider had the Tom Holland head sculpt, had the non-light up head sculpt where you could switch out the eyes, had an LED light up head sculpt, had the spider legs, had piles of hands, webs, dynamic stand, all that stuff, $259. So it's $4 for the Iron Spider, $4 more to get the Iron Spider versus this new one. What? Really? I don't see it, guys. I think the price point is not, I don't think it makes sense. Clearly they had to pay for a Tom Holland license for the sculpt, for one. They get an LED function in Iron Spider. They got awesome legs going on. It's a beautiful figure. Material they already had, so they just had to re-screen print or redesign the one for the Spider-Man Mark IV. The UV light spray crap they got on there, I think is nonsense. I don't think that's a thing. And it has less accessories. And it's $255. Now, had I not taken a look at the other Scarlet Spider and the Iron Spider, I would say $250 for a Spider-Man figure with the accessories on it. It's not bad, right? It's not a terrible price for a 6-scale figure. But I think price point doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I think that's where I'm at with it. I even looked at the new one, what was it? The Iron Spider from the video game, the PS4 one. even that one's priced well. I don't get it. So this one's price point for me is weird. So the material, I don't have a problem with. I'm okay with it being that material. I think it's Iron Spiders. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. So 100 points for it being flipping gorgeous. I love like the classic Iron Man emblem on the back. Love that. It's a gorgeous figure. I think proportions look great. I think it's awesome. It poses well. You can tell from the blogger photos. Price points, a little high. I'm not giving them any credit for the cardboard UV lights because I think they're garbage. And it has less accessories and it costs $255. That's my take on that. Now, if you are collecting all the PS4 Spidey figures, then buy it. There's nothing wrong with the figure. I'm just comparing it to other ones. You might want to make a different decision. I don't know. If you want to pick this one up, it is currently at pre-order at Collector Zone. Again, I'll put a link in the description below. You're going to get 5% off, which by the time you take care of taxes and everything, you're going to save some money. And if it's your first time checking out Collector Zone's site, the price you see on the website is actually the full price you pay. Taxes, shipping, everything's included in the US. And then take 5% off of that. That's what you actually end up paying. And if you need a payment plan, they got that too. So check them out for that. So that's Spider-Man. I felt like I talked about that one for a good minute. So that's fun. All right, so let's move on to the next one, which is Leia and Wicket. So Leia and Wicket dropped in Hong Kong today. People are already, that are over there, already reviewing it, showing it, doing this kind of stuff, showing photos. And there were some discrepancies in the blogger photos from the prototype to the ones that were shown today. So I'll put some of those up on screen. You guys can take a look at them. And there were some complaints, I guess, if you will, some complaints about it, about Wicket in general. So we'll talk about Leia and we'll talk about Wicket. We'll start with Wicket. One, the futzing on the material. All right, if you look back at the prototype, you can tell it's a one-off prototype. The fur on that particular figure that they had, you can tell they spent a lot of time getting it right for the photos. Okay, they did a really good job. It looks gorgeous. It's beautiful. It looks like they did a good job. But anytime you take something that's a one-off or prototype and you mass produce it, you're not going to get the same quality. So anybody expecting that level of quality is going to be disappointed in a furry creature, right? That's really the only downside of that. Now, I will tell you that the photos they released today, the blogger photos they released this morning as they released this thing, leave a lot to be desired, and I think you need to take that into account when you're looking at photos of like a prototype versus the ones they released today. The blogger photos they did initially looked fantastic, totally different photographer. The ones they dropped today looked like somebody took it for like a Motorola Razr from 1999. Like whoever took the photos just did a bad job. I mean, just as a photographer, I'm just gonna flat out tell you they did a bad job. They're not good photos. So you got to take that into account, that they're just not good photos. They should have used Alex Brooks, who does a lot of their figure photography. That guy is flipping brilliant, amazing. He'll make you want to buy a figure in one photo. I don't know the gentleman who did the photos that were released today, but honestly, not good, okay? So let's throw the photos out the window. Let's talk about the figure. Price point wise, $200 for a Wicket and Ewok. It's a new design body. There's fur. There's different. I don't have a problem with the price point with that. I really don't. So that one I'm okay with, and I really don't have a problem with the Wicket. And also on the photo side of this thing, okay, if you're not skilled in photography, you may not notice this, but lighting makes a huge difference in photos. The way light shapes a figure and the way it photographs, the depth of field, the sculpting, and how it matters, okay? So just one day, if you want to see an actual comparison of good lighting versus bad lighting on photography on a figure, let me know. We'll do a video. It'll probably take me a long time to do. But it is a thing, and there is a skill behind it, okay? You can't just break out an iPhone and you just can't do it. All right, so Leia. Now, my gripe with Leia is that the head sculpt is a reuse. Essentially, it's a reuse. The expression is blank. There's no expression whatsoever. It's a dead expression. And she was anything but expressionless, like, or stoic. Like, she was, okay, so there's that. The joints. The joints on this one, I think you're gonna be limited on posing to where the elbow joints just aren't god awful. Okay? And that's just a product of the costume and the design of the figure. It's all it is. I don't think it's anything other than that. I think you're gonna have a rough time posing that figure without the joints showing, and it's gonna take you some time to do it. Now, I think if you pull it off, and some of these blogger photos did that, it looks gorgeous. I think it's fantastic. Put her on her speeder bike, you're gonna have the joints showing. I don't know if there's any way to hide that. There's one blogger photo with Luke and Leia on the same speeder bike, like coming right at you. That was pretty cool. I like that. I like that they gave us a Leia from Indoor. I'm a fan of it, especially even the 2-pack, Leia and Wicket together. I like those. The joints bother me. That's really the only thing. Other than that, I think it's okay. So I guess the question would come about is, would I buy that set? And the answer is, yeah, I would buy that one. I would actually buy the Spider-Man Mark IV Spider Armor version. I would buy that one too if I was collecting Spider-Man. I'd buy that. Even with some of the issues I brought up earlier, because it looks that good. But the Leia and Wicket, let me tell you, look at the other Princess Leia figures. You've got A New Hope, price points going through the roof. You've got the Hoth version, price points going above retail. Bespin Leia is on Last Chance at Sideshow. That's going to sell out. That price point's going to go through retail. So you're going to have this one, you have an opportunity to get to at retail before it goes up, because it will go up because she is a loved character and person. So pick it up. That's what I would say. So there's that. So we talked about Spider-Man. We talked about Leia and Wicket. Let's talk about some high price sales. I went on eBay. I thought this was interesting, and it may not be to you, but it was to me, to look at which sales happened in the past few days, past week, past month, of auctioned items. Not buy it now, because most of the buy it now ones are marked price and they accepted a different offer, and I have no idea what the heck they sold it for. But the auction prices I thought were interesting, and when I saw some trends, one of them being the Iron Man Mark IV with the gantry, which has been going for $700, $800, whatever. But there was one for like $950 and another for $1,000 for the Mark IV with gantry. So that's, I would not be surprised if Hot Toys re-released that next year, or somewhere down the road. I wouldn't be surprised at that. It's a beautiful piece. The set, it's a diorama piece. I get it. I've seen it in person. It's worth $1,000. It's not worth $1,000 to me, but it clearly is worth $1,000 to somebody and multiple people. So that's up to you guys. So that was interesting. War Machine Mark I. There's one that sold for $909. Guys, for $909, you can get 2 of these and have some money left over. I would get that for $900. Oh, screw that. I'd get freaking General Grievous Premium, you can't see it, General Grievous Premium format. You can get that for $900. That's gorgeous. But that's Star Wars Marvel. This right here, I would get this before I spent $900 on a War Machine Mark I. I'm not judging those who did. I'm just saying if it was me, I would do that. So that was interesting. And then this was also interesting too. The TK14057, which is the Jedha Patrol Trooper with the backpack and the orange pauldron from Rogue One. Auctioned items with bids, $464 for the single trooper, not the 2-pack. All right, with the one with the black pauldron and the orange pauldron, not 2-pack. The single one, $464 for one trooper. Wow. I'm glad I got the 2-pack and I didn't pay anywhere near that. And then K2SO, which we all know about, it's talking to go for like $600, so that's interesting. So if you want to talk about deals of the week, I've been looking at this for the past few weeks because I am always looking for deals on picking up stuff for my collection, or really just sharing deals for the other guys. But first order Stormtroopers, $100 all day long. It doesn't even matter which variant of the Stormtrooper you get. It can be the heavy, it can be the officer, it can be the snow trooper, it can be what, it doesn't even matter. If it's first order trooper, it's like $100. So those are pretty good deals. So I hope you guys like this episode of 6 Scale News. Again, we do have a contest going on for Poser of the Week. In the description below, there's a hashtag for that. On Instagram, what I want you to do is find your figure. I don't care which 6 scale figure it is. Put it in your best pose. Take a photo of it. Take several photos. Put it on Instagram with the hashtag Poser of the Week. Next episode, which actually I was planning on doing this weekend, but then this stuff happened today. I'll pick a winner and we'll put some, we'll share some photos up there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Love to hear from you. What are your thoughts on Spider-Man Mark IV? Are you going to be picking that up? Are you not going to pick it up? Are you picking up Leia and Wicket? Are you not? And did you pick up this guy? So, as always, guys, collect what you like. See you next time.